there.
All right, let's make sure we're not peaking. Make sure people can hear us. Make sure everything's crystal clear. What's going on, mother lovers? What's going on to all the people locked in right about now? Can you hear us, first of all? Does mic sound nice? Mic sound all right? Check, check. 1, 2. Hit us up with the fire emojis or smileys or satin, the strong arm emojis, whatever you want, man. Back in the... Man's back in West. I'm back in the studio. You get me? Yeah. I'm back, mother lovers. You know what I mean? There's a little journey still. They had me out there for a little while, man. They tried, they tried their best, but once we get through the gates, we're all good. You know what I mean? Untampered with.
Unmolested.
Unmolested, unpoked. You know what I mean? The aliens didn't manage to probe me, bruh. They went, nah, everything was closed. Like, I closed my nose, butt cheeks, ears, everything. I closed every single orifice. They weren't getting nothing in nowhere, boy. Ah! That's how we roll. Right here with some shit you might not never know nothing about. That's right. I'm your host. Always, every week, through each and every, whatever time the sun decides it wants to rise or fall, we make sure we're here on Mercury's Day, on Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? Myself, Mice Digu, with my co-host, none other than, ooh, see? None other than Dan DNA. What's going on, bro?
Good. Yeah. Good to have you back.
Hey, it's good to be. Did you mind? Like, I've had to, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm quarantining.
Together again. That's been going through my head all week.
You'd be like, yo, you better come back, man.
I can't wait.
Me too, man. It's good to be home, man. I'm telling you, it's good to be back. It's kind of weird doing it in a hotel room. Yeah, screaming your head off and that.
Yeah, but you got. Did you get complaints, or you got your neighbours knocking on the door on the wall?
On the wall, the last. Yeah, the end of the last episode, boy. Nah, no one said nothing, man. They couldn't. You know what I mean? They're not really gonna say it. It's just doom, 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 doom. They're used to that out there. Do you know what I mean? Like people bunning in that in their hotel rooms and all that. Yeah, they don't give a damn. But yeah, it was quite funny though, man. They do. Like, right, we're just finishing off, but I was loud as hell with it. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun, man. Shout out to everyone who's locked in last week. We got to speak with Sam Gibbons, man. Woo.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, about CBD. Yeah. Connoisseurs UK, and we went for a deep dive into it and got to understand it a lot more, I think, than I think there was, things that we knew, but then to get it confirmed like that and also learn a lot more about it was really good, man. And shout out to him for, giving us the hours that he did, man. It was a really good talk. But yeah, I'm back now. I got 3 days left of quarantine. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you lot, stick with me, man.
We've still got the glass screen between us.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I mean? You lot, look, you see this? Like, it's perplex. You know what I mean?
Perplexing glass.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? That's proof there for you, mate. On video. You got it on camera as well. Still quarantining out this bitch. Yo, shout out to the common sensors in the building with us, man. I see you lot, boy. Shout out to psychedelic scientists. Kenny Rebel. PLK, what's going on? You're more. Black Einstein, yes. Oh, hey, it's going to be a mad one today, man. Don Smithered, what's going on, bruv? Regantology, you good? Yeah, man, it's about that time, boy. Some shit you might not never know nothing about. Shout out to all the silent listeners as well out there, man. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that like button. Share the video as well. Shout out to Lawrence Limburger, if you can, because we're going to go deep diving again today, man. But this time, you know what I mean? It's about stuff that obviously you don't know about. You might not never know nothing about this. No. Though. It's like you see it every day, but you don't really see what you're seeing.
Signs and symbols you might not never know.
Nothing about, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you'll get it in the end. By like show 70, he will be fluent in, you might not never know nothing about language. Yeah. Yo, shout out to DJ Lock. What's going on, my brother? Yes, hope everyone is keeping well. It was a crazy sunset, isn't it, today?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's 02.
Spring is in the air.
02-2022.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Something's going on. You know what I mean? And we had that kind of sunset. Something's going on in the skies. I lie? Like, we can't just, like, let that pass and be like, yeah, whatever, man. I
No.
was like, right, that's colours, like certain garms, they try and come off with them colours. They ain't pulling them off. You know what I mean? Like Nike and them, they're fucking up when they try to do that shit. You see it there. That's like, raw. God made that. Nature made that. Man couldn't make that. Wow. And we all got to see it.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, man. Like, it's really interesting. I wonder, like, about whether, you know what I mean? Did they know these sort of things were going to happen? That's why they made the calendar this way. Now we got this Gregorian calendar. Quite nuts.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. We're going to dive into those sort of topics tonight, man, with one of our favorite guests. But before we do that, let's catch up on what's been going on. It seems we're all allowed to be free again.
Oh yeah, that means
It's quite strange.
Yeah. I wondered what you meant actually. Yeah, about what's been going on. I was just thinking, what's been going on? Like, but
normal.
yeah, no, you're right. It's been a big change just even outside, seeing people, you know, like free facing all over again.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you've been
loads
seeing
of
a lot of
people.
free
Yeah,
facing.
yeah. A lot of people just, you know, now that they know that they can't get fined for not wearing it or something. Was that what they was getting before? Were they getting fined for not wearing masks?
Oh, were you?
I don't know.
Probably, man. The way people are going on, you might as well be. Like, at least that would make sense. If it's like, oh, right, you get fined. Okay, cool. But still.
Yeah. Do you think the whole Boris Johnson thing just made everyone just be like, just not going to wear a mask? Or I'd
like to hope.
But also, do you think that they've done it because of do you think they relaxed all of the restrictions because of the Boris Johnson party thing? Or
well, this is for me, I just don't really get it because of the fact that it feels like, why would they put that news out there? They're in control of the news anyway.
Yeah.
So why would they put that out there?
Yeah.
And then all I could think at the time was like, it's his get out clause, because Wancock got his get out clause when he was kissing the woman and all that on the camera. Hey, can you see me? Yeah. I'm going to touch your bum as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Bam, it's like, oh, sorry, I did something really wrong. Yes, I cheated on my, and in front of the cat. Okay, I better go now. Bye. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? And then I thought, yeah, this is what Boris is doing. This is his get out clause. Like, yes, sorry, yes, the party that, I don't know how, yeah, okay, and then he's off. But then it seems like,
doesn't seem bothered.
Everyone's talking about they've made this U-turn and all that as well. So it seems like maybe it could be to do with that whole case that's being open, you know? It could be to do with that. But it feels a bit weird, innit? It feels a bit like, huh?
All of a sudden,
yeah. But what's weird is just people just accepted it. Oh, yeah, now we don't have to. Okay. Like, it was, what's his name? Omicron 2 weeks ago. And then now it's like, hey. So it's like, all right, bit confusing, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. See how this plays out. We're living in this movie right about now, mother lovers. And you're not going crazy. Trust me, you're not going crazy. We see it. A lot of our friends and family and people around us, I think they don't want to see it as well. Some of them just, they're like, you know what, I'd just rather just get on that shit. If they feel like they might go crazy, maybe they would. I don't think they would. You just get to understand what's going on a bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shout out to the common senses. You know what's going on. Shout out to Gleam. What's going on? I see you in the building, brother. Yeah, we're going to go in. Bojo's trending for real, boy. I don't know what's going on. Bruv, I don't know how people are falling for this. But yeah, let's see what goes on anyway. You got the truckers in Canada. What the hell is that about? Like, how did they all link up all of a sudden? It's interesting, man.
I don't know. I see a picture of the head of the truckers union thing and all that. Did you see it? Have you seen a picture of him?
Is it? Yeah, well, there you go. When you got the eyes to see it, you know what I mean? It started to get a bit like, I was like, that's some really good organization there.
Yeah.
Then it's always the type of videos you see moving around as well. You know, they always seem to be a certain style where they want you to see the grand picture of it all. But that's it. You don't really see faces and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's that weird kind of.
Yeah.
You know, the same with the Australian thing. I don't know what's really going on out there, man. Hearing from people, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite like mixed.
Yeah.
In terms of what's really going on. So. But yeah, we should be chatting to a friend from over there, a free running friend.
That'd be good.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the lowdown on what it's like. Where are they based?
Pretty sure Sydney.
Right, so somewhere major anyway, where we get a good idea of London equivalent sort of thing.
How they're dealing with it and all
Yeah.
that. And what's real and what's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They try to stop us talking, but hell to the mother loving no. And on that note, you know what I mean? I think it's time, bruv.
Yeah.
I think it's time we get into this because it's going to be a heavy one tonight. Hope you lot are ready. Hope you got your, what you lot flames in out there, man? What's flames in out there? You know what I'm saying? Man's got the cola cube still. You know what I mean? Got back. I'm back in West. Cola cube in it. OG Shark. OG Shark. On tap. Can we go? Yo, let's bring in our guest right about now, man. A fan favorite. A lot of people hit me up after speaking to him live on the show. And, they just talk about like how much this knowledge, how much knowledge this guy shares with us, man, and how much they appreciate it because obviously the amount you learn doing this and it gives you the eyes to see. So, happy Chinese New Year as well, for real. I want to welcome in, man, and give him a warm welcome as well. Some fire emojis, some volcanic eruptions. Mem DVG. What's going on, bruv? Conscious Minds TV in the building. Yeah.
I'm just seeing if we actually, because I can't see your audio coming through. Hold on.
Oh, is it? I can
Might
hear
have
it.
to. Yeah, but it's in OBS.
Oh, I've put headphones in. Do you reckon that's why?
No, it shouldn't be. No, it should be fine. But hold on a minute. Sorry, let me just switch to this window instead. Okay. Any better?
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Cool, bro.
Yeah,
Excellent.
there you go.
We got you.
Yes. What's going on, bruv?
Yeah, all good, brothers. Thanks for having me on again, man.
No.
Really appreciate it, man. I love chatting with you guys. We always get into deep ones, so it's all good.
Oh,
Yeah,
bless,
man. Thanks for
appreciate
coming back.
that, bruv. Definitely, man. Yeah, see some fire there, explosivity. Yo, Mem, so we were chatting, man.
Yeah.
This week, like I posted this this thing. I think it's on the if you check the gram, I posted this thing, and it was like because it had me. I was just like, oh Jesus, for real. I ain't got no clue at all. You know what I mean? And it just got me thinking about like the fact that we recognize these signs and symbols and that and logos and whatnot so easily, and how they're embedded. You know, you see them from when you're mad young anyway. So that's it. When you're older, you know, and the fact that we could see these things straight away and name them as opposed to what's natural, what's really there for us, just got me thinking about, right, how deep does it go when it comes to putting out logos, symbols, signs and whatnot that we see?
So it was these, okay. The name the logo thing. Hold on, I've got it here. Hold on.
And I just knew, I was like, yo, if I have a chat with Mem, I'm sure we're gonna come
This
up
one.
with, yeah. Name these brands. Bam. Easy. Name these plants though, mother lover. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah. And I got to admit, man, I got to shout out a few people that did actually come up with answers. You know, even if it was just 3, 4 of them or whatever, but there were a few people that answered, and I was like, right, you lot. You know, and some Kenny Rebel, shout out to Kenny Rebel. Kenny Rebel went in as well. There was I think there's a girl that posted, and she got them right, as far as I could tell, straight away. You know.
Well, one of them's going to be oak. you got like a 6 in 1 chance of getting that one right.
I think it was fan. You know. Anyone in the comments? I remember Kenny Rebel went in.
I'll keep them up.
But you know, it's and this is the thing for me. I was just like, wow, that's deep, man. That's how far away they take us from who we are. Is the fact that we can recognize these symbols. You know what I mean? These logos like nothing. Man will be mouth watering over them, them logos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them logos. And it's like, but when it comes to the things that we should know, like you know, true nature, true science, we're lost. And how lost are we? Like, do we know what we're really seeing when we're seeing these logos even? Do you know what I mean? So we got our brother Mem in to show us how. Get your snorkel. I don't think the snorkels is even enough. You got to get that deep diving gear, mother lovers. Get ready.
For sure, man. It's not just about the symbols, it's the words attached to the symbols as well. That gives it the extra meaning once you clock it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So shout out to B Trekker. That's who it was. Maple tree, ash tree, yew tree. Dan got the oak tree, apple tree, and birch tree. Maple tree, ash tree, yew tree, oak tree, apple tree, and finally the birch tree. Love thy forest, B Trekker. I mean, we gotta fix up, mother lovers. You know what I mean? All I know is the indica tree and the sativa tree. The sativa tree, you know what I mean? I can tell you which is which. Let me smell that terp. You know what I mean? We'll go from there. But boy, when it comes to these logos, it's really interesting, man.
It's funny, bro. You know, you said you can tell the difference between sativa trees and indica trees. Sometimes when I'm in the park and I'm looking at trees, and like you see like a short stubby one that's together, that's like an indica tree. But when you see like a fraily long one, that's like a sativa tree. I do stuff like that as well when I'm sitting down just visualizing things.
Yeah, it's deep, man. You know what I mean? That's what we should be learning, but it's interesting how far these things go, because you do see nature in these logos anyway, right?
Yeah. Is that, would you agree with that, Mem? Is it
for sure. There's definitely elements of nature within particular symbols, which I'm going to show once I get into my slideshow. I've got about like 10 or 15 different logos, and not necessarily just commercial logos, just some of it might be like Freemasonic, some of it might be astrological, some of it might be just the general stuff we see. Some is like car logos, but they've all got a deeper meaning to it. And yeah, we're going to go through that and just kind of examine it. It's amazing once you, again, all of it comes down to just being a bit curious and digging deep, and then you'll find what it really is at the end of the day. That's all it comes down to, just being a bit more open-minded and just being a bit more aware of everything.
Like, and so through your, you know, from what you've seen, do you feel like these things are sort of truly purposefully done for other reasons than just selling the product? Or do you feel like it's just a sort of strong way of implanting?
I don't know. It's funny actually, because I've been doing some like research on the logos and where they come from and stuff like that. And they won't say it's like an esoteric thing or it's a deep thing, but because of what I know, like I said, because of etymology and the colors used, there's too many coincidences for it to be just a mistake. Or the only other thing, it could just be a subconscious thing in the designer that they don't know they're connecting with it, and it's coming out that way. But I really doubt that it's that way. I'm sure. Like, for example, you know, McDonald's, the McDonald's symbol.
The golden arches.
I read that it's basically supposed to be the person who designed it done it to mimic a woman's boobs, for example. That's what it said on the website. But when I look into the etymology of what it means and the colors that are being used, it says something different to me, but that's because of the knowledge that I have. So again, I'm not saying, by the way, everything I present today, most of it will be solid fact, but some of it will be my own interpretation as well.
That's fair, because you know it's always up to someone's interpretation, isn't it?
Of course.
And it's about those levels of understanding or whatever, is that, you know, if you look at things on a superficial level all the time, then you can still get a message out of it, but there may be another message being slipped in to your unconscious that you're not aware of. Whereas if you are aware of those ability for them to program these things unconsciously, then you might not be as affected by it, because you can sort of see it as it's coming toward, you know, as it's coming up on you. You can say, oh yeah, I can see what they're trying to do.
Wow, it's just like, who is it who said it? Someone just said, Kenny Rebel said, knowing trees can help pinpoint where certain mushrooms will grow in the forest. So it's a similar thing. Knowing what's behind these, like, what deeper than just about, you know, the name of it. Knowing what's behind it, you'll find like
that's
where
what
these
I'm
mushrooms
saying,
are. Where it's like, oh right, I didn't realize that wasn't really what's going on. It will definitely stay away from that. You know, you're definitely not eating that. I'm definitely, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Conscious Minds TV. We got Mem DVG in the building. Shout out to IBMCs. We see you. Shout out to Teddy T. All right, let's go in then. So far, yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen then?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a presentation for us,
Yeah, no problem. Share screen. Let's go to photos, share. Let's go. Right, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Right. So obviously we know this symbol is the McDonald's symbol.
Oh, hang on. No, there's just you on the screen and a line going across the screen at the moment.
Okay, right. 1 second.
With the date.
So let me stop sharing the screen and let me reshare again.
Okay.
So share screen. Now can you see it?
That's it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Right. Right. So obviously many of us know this symbol. It's the McDonald's symbol. But when we look at the actual meaning of the word McDonald, we'll see that it kind of has some theological or astrological influence. So if I go to the next slide, here it says MacDonald is a common Scottish patronymic surname meaning the son of Donald, a given meaning the world ruler from the Gaelic Mac the Harm Muhul. MacDonald is probably the most famous of the Scottish clan surnames. So obviously the word Donald means the ruler of the world, because obviously it has the word Don, hence like Don Corleone, or the Don is a leader. But obviously MacDonald means the son of Donald. So from my understanding, MacDonald would correlate with the actual son. Because if MacDonald is the son of Donald, then, and the son is God's son, it's kind of playing on that whole sun worship thing, if that makes sense.
Good.
And also, if we look at this symbol, and then I'll show you the Aries symbol, it's similar, but obviously it's cut off, if that makes sense. Can you see that?
Yeah.
How it's similar, but it's just cut off.
Yeah, because the one on the left is the glyph of the Aries, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But the thing is as well, we know Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the color of red and yellow and fiery.
Wow.
So they're the connections I make, like from the colors and stuff like that. And we know as well, the red color is the root chakra, which is the most animalistic nature within the 7 chakras. So by them almost making it red, automatically it connects you with your lower animal nature. Does that make sense?
So break that down again.
So obviously the red color is the red chakra, which is the root chakra. It's the most dense chakra out of the 7 chakras. So that's your like animal nature chakra. So obviously the red, when you see that red, when you just see red, it automatically gets you in touch with your lower self. So that's why they pick particular colors. Look at all the food colors: Burger King red, KFC red, McDonald's red. What else? All the other chicken shops, there's always red in it. These colours are specifically chosen because, like I said, they get you in touch with your lower animal nature.
So they're like, yeah, so basically you're gonna eat that shit in it if you're in your lower animal nature.
Yeah, basically. You don't care. But if you noticed how in recent times all the McDonald's have got like more of a greeny colour.
Yeah.
Like the more modern McDonald's, if you drive past a McDonald's, they've kind of
as well,
tried to make it less red.
Yeah,
it's like almost they're deceiving you by giving you a more of a calmer, cooler colour, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's another deception in itself.
Wow.
Like these, boy. Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, the whole like Sun and Aries stuff, that's my own correlation. No one's actually said that. That's just from my knowledge and knowing what Donald means and McDonald and all that. That's just my own correlation, if that makes sense. So, someone else might look at it and say something else, for example. So, but I'll move on to the next one. So, yeah. So this one is umbro. If you was to turn this so it's not landscape and it's like vertical, this would be a woman's vagina. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And obviously, this word in Turkish, that is the actual word. Like it's like a slang word for a woman's vagina. And this is called umbro. But even deeper than that, when you look at the word umbro and what it means, and also, it kind of connects with the whole Freemason compass and square. This is a symbolism of the woman's vagina as well.
Oh yeah, that's meant to be the legs, isn't it? Like
So, but when we look at the word umbra or umbro, what it means, it says a dark area, especially the blackest part of a shadow, from which all lights are cut off. The completely dark central portion of the shadow cast by Earth, Moon, or other body during eclipse. So obviously the womb is dark, isn't it? Because there's no light in there.
Yeah.
So even the etymology of umbro or umbra connects with the woman's womb. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you guys catching that?
Yeah. But I'm wondering, why would they choose that? Like for a sports brand, why would they choose?
Again, it's like subconscious. It's like subconscious brain programming. It's almost like their way of telling us things without telling us, if that makes sense. That's what all symbols are for me, because that's almost as well. A lot of elites do this to get away with, like, you know how that people say they hide the truth, for example.
In plain sight.
But they would say, no, we don't. Look, we showed you in this symbol, we showed you in that symbol, but you didn't realise. So this is like their way of kind of getting away with things by showing us things through symbols. And these symbols are universal symbols that we will kind of subconsciously connect with, even if we don't know what it is. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next one. Well, obviously this is the car Nissan. And the symbolism behind this is that this blue line would be the equinox or the equator. And the red in the background would be the sun going over the equator. And Nissan in Hebrew is the month of is Aries, basically. And that is when the sun goes over the equator. And Nissan in Japanese, in Turkish, and in Hebrew is all that time of the year. So if I show you, and obviously here it explains how Nissan is a depiction of the sun. So not only is Nissan an abbreviation for the original company, it is also a combination of the Japanese characters Ni equaling sun and San, product of birth. Thus Nissan is a product of Japan and the land of the rising sun.
Mm.
So if we look at Nissan here, look at where it is, March, April, where Aries, and that's where the equator is, when the sun's going over the equator.
Very good.
Right.
So that symbolism is astrological or astronomical, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like there's a bit of Mars worship. And Mars isn't Mars.
Yeah, it's Mars and the sun, because Mars rules in Aries and the sun exalts in Aries. So it's to do with that Martian action, spring energy for sure.
Wow. It's funny, isn't it? The way it's linked like that.
Yeah.
We don't see it.
Yeah, so that blue bit, like I said, that's the equator. And then you've got the sun crossing the equator, the Passover, which is why the Jews and the Muslims, they sacrifice the lamb in the Passover, because it's a symbol of the sun going into Aries. So moving on, what else have we got? Virgin Media. Now this one's a very, very interesting one. Well, there's something, I don't know if many of you know, it's called the analema. What the analema is if you take a picture of the sun at the same time every single day for a year, it will, and you do like a time-lapse photography, there'll be 365 dots that will create this figure 8 shape. So this is the sun, and this is winter down here, and it's going up, and it comes to spring, and then up here is summer, then comes down to summer, and this is autumn, and it's like kind of doing this figure of 8. But the thing is, when the sun is going up, this crossing point here, can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
This crossing point here going up is on the 15th of April, which is in Aries. But once the sun comes up here and then crosses at this point again, it's the 29th of August. And 29th of August is when the sun is in Virgo. So when you look at this symbol, it's called Virgin, which is Virgo. So, like what I'm saying, many people would think, how would Virgin or Virgo connect with this symbol? But it's knowing what the symbol means or what it's about.
What it represents. Is that what they call the elliptic? Is that the elliptical or the elliptic?
Yeah, that's the sun's path, basically.
Yeah.
So when it's going up at this crossing point, it's 15th of April. But like I said, when it comes down at this crossing point, it's 29th of August. And 29th of August is when the sun is in Virgo, hence Virgin Media. So that's like the symbology behind this one. It is from my perspective, but I'm not just making it up, because it has a correlation with the actual symbol. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it just comes to having the knowledge about what the symbol means.
Yeah, it's deep, man. You'd never think that.
Yeah, and this is it here. If I can zoom in, look, you can see like the date. So this is August 25th. This one where it crosses here is 29. And what's interesting as well, brother, is this is the equator here. So it doesn't cross at the equator. The crossing point is above the equator, but it's on the 8th degree latitude above the equator, and it's in the figure of an 8 as well.
Wow.
Which is crazy as well.
That's nuts.
Yeah, because you see like 8 degrees here. If I go here, there's a crossing point. So yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, it's just nature and just the way it works, man. Nothing's by accident, I suppose. It's just all divine. But obviously, no one, probably most people,
I won't see that,
who wouldn't know what the analema is in the first place, or why Virgin would use this symbol. It's just a symbol.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you know the meaning of the symbol, then
because it never used
creates
to be
more flavor to it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
They've only changed this when they became Virgin Media, didn't they? That became their sort of new logo, because originally it was just
I'm
the
not
Virgin,
sure
just the word
what it
Virgin,
was before.
Yeah.
Before it was that virgin. See that?
Just the word virgin.
Yeah, the word virgin there in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously they've had a good
loop.
think about how they can rebrand. It's not just something they just drew a line
Yeah,
around
of
word
course.
and was like, oh, just draw a line around it and that's our new logo.
And I guess as well, Virgin Media, and it's it's going worldwide, so it's kind of using that. It's traveling just like the sun is all
obviously
around the world.
Medea, the word Medea or media was a goddess of
Mm.
deception in the Greek mythology. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah.
Medea.
The word media or Medea means deception.
Surprise, surprise, eh?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that one.
Masters of deception, boy.
Subaru, which is obviously some of you may not know or some of you may know, is a car make. But you can see the symbol of these stars here.
The Pleiades.
Well, they're the symbol. They're the 7 stars of Pleiades. They're the most brightest stars in the sky, and they're in the constellation of Taurus, which is an Earth sign. But then when we go on to read what Subaru means, it says Subaru signifies a Japanese word meaning unite, as well as the term identifying a cluster of 6 stars, which Greeks called the Pleiades, a part of the Taurus constellation. The new corporation adopted the Subaru cluster of stars as the official logo for its line of automobiles. So Subaru is just based on the Pleiades constellation, basically.
Worshipping the stars, man. Why would you know what I mean?
And the thing
there's a whole thing about the Pleiadians and people who are into the more extraterrestrial alien kind of theories. Well, there's a group of people called the Pleiadians, and they're kind of some beings that apparently people tap into. I mean, Hitler was into a lot of this stuff. Do you guys know about the Vril Society? And they used to get little girls with really long hair, and they used to use that long hair as an antenna, and apparently they connected with beings from the Pleiades and
is it
stuff like this. Yeah.
What?
So
what's that called?
The Vril
Society.
Vril Society.
Yeah, that's where the word Bovril comes from. So the brand Bovril is a bovine, and it was bovine, meant to be like a bovine drink, like a beef drink, but it was also contained vril energy, so they called it Bovril.
Wow.
So
see, Dan, you've taught me something. That's a brilliant one, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it. Wow.
Bovril.
Yep.
I guess it weren't the real Bovril by the end of it.
Not by the end.
MSG. Vril energy is the same thing as chi energy.
That's
basically.
it. Yeah.
That's
Prana, chi, whatever. Yeah.
But this one is Mazda, obviously. This comes from the Zoroastrian god of Ahura Mazda. And Mazda means wisdom. But if I skip to the next, so this it says Mazda comes from Ahura Mazda, the god of harmony, intelligence, and wisdom from the earliest civilization in West Asia. The key members of the Toyo Kogyo interpreted Mazda as a symbol of the beginning of the East and the West civilization, but also a symbol of the automotive civilization and culture. Well, these two things here are symbolizing wings. When we see the depiction of Ahura Mazda, he's got wings as well. So that's the whole connection with
Ahura Mazda.
Mazda, yeah. It says here, Mazda logo we see today is actually a highly styled M with its arms raised like wings, symbolizing the flight towards the future. So again, it's just there's loads of esoteric stuff or behind all of them, really. Even just any kind of symbol will have a deeper meaning if you just have a deeper thought of understanding, basically. You're able to take more out of it rather than it just being a symbol. That makes sense.
Yeah, they don't. These aren't like They think about these things when they do it. They don't.
For sure, I'm sure they do, man. Because why would you say, "Oh, let's name something Subaru," which is the Pleiades?
Yeah,
it's a bit random, isn't it?
It's mad random, definitely. Man.
Sorry,
it's mad random. You know what I mean? It's proper out there. You're like, what? Huh? How does that link? But then you see all this behind it. Starts to make more sense. And they seem to always look at the stars for some reason.
Yeah. Well, this is Shell petrol station. Obviously, we know this. This looks like symbolism of the sun as well. But again, this is something that I've just realized. You see in the word shell, you've got hell.
Yeah.
But in the ancient Hebrew cosmology, hell was called Sheol.
Yeah.
So look, can you see this where it says Sheol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the Hebrew cosmology, the shape is actually similar to the shell shape as well.
And it looks like the Sheol is where the oil is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's called, isn't it called Sheol? Isn't there a form of oil called
Sheol
or something? What's it called?
There might be. I'm not aware of that.
I think it's shale. Yeah, I think it's shale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just again, that's just weird. Something again through etymology that I've kind of made a connection through.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one, really. Because if I'm being honest, I haven't got much solid proof on that. It's just something that caught my eye, if that makes sense.
Shell, well, it makes sense. Like, why else would they pick Shell of all things?
Yeah, exactly. Also, apparently, I read on the actual Shell website, the reason why they done it yellow and red was because apparently the first one opened in California where there was a big Spanish community, and they done it to attract them, apparently. But again, I don't know the truth behind that. It's just what I read.
Shell. It wouldn't surprise me, boy. I wonder how long ago that was as well.
Oh, I can't remember. I think it was like in the early 1900s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it must have been, man. Them
but
shits are tricky, boy.
Yeah, obviously this is the most baitest one. Apple with a chunk out of it. It was obviously the whole bite in the apple and the good and evil, and it makes sense because the reason why they got the rainbows in the background is because when you bite the apple, you enter into the electromagnetic world, which is the physical world. The rainbow is a symbol of the physical world. So it's got quite a deep meaning, actually, because that's why when God said only eat of the tree of life, because if you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you'll surely die. So what that's a symbol of is once you eat of the tree of good and knowledge, you see red and blue. So it's the red shift, blue shift thing. That's what it's talking about. Right. So once you eat from the tree of good and evil, you're coming into the world of polarity. And the rainbow is a symbol of the polarity of the red and blue, basically. So you guys catching me with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now they've taken the colours away and turned it silver.
Yeah, no, there's different versions of it. There's like silver ones and there's thing, but this one to me makes a lot of sense of why they've added the rainbow in, because it, like I said, because I can show you. Let me just show you another picture quickly from another one of my slides.
Go back to Adam and Eve, boy. Apple.
Basically, if you black and white light creates the electromagnetic spectrum. So what I did in this picture was I shined my torch on the TV that was turned off, and it created an electromagnetic spectrum, as you can see, red on one side, blue on the other side. So basically, black and white light creates all the colors, basically. So white, the color white is all of these colors condensed. Okay. So that's why the sun is like revered so much, because everything comes through the sun. All the colours and physicality comes through golden light. So that's a bit of more of a science outlook to it, if that makes sense.
And the colours were bright as well.
Yeah, you can do that. Anyone can do that. Just shine your torch on a TV and you'll get a rainbow in your TV. Obviously, while it's turned off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
see a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. Hey, come here.
Yeah, so the Mercedes-Benz is quite a simple one, really. It just stands for land, air, and sea, which is where they make vehicles for all these places for the land, air, and sea. That's apparently what that means. Quite a simple one, really. Yeah, so this is a Freemason apron. And if we go forward, you can see it's the same as the Gmail symbol. And then you got the 666 for the other Google symbol. And you've got the compass and square for the app. And then the G is just the Masonic G. And then the Google Play thing is the seal of Satan.
That's the seal of Satan right there.
Yeah. This one here is the seal of Satan, but obviously they're saying that this logo is based off of that.
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Yeah, it does.
It's mad.
Now we're going to get into more of the deeper esoteric stuff. So this was the Queen's coronation, and this logo here it's not a very clear picture, but that's the best picture I could get of this. This is the Kabbalah, or the Jewish tree of life. And if you look on this side, when the Queen walked in to do her coronation, they walked in the same shape as the Jewish Kabbalah. So you can see here, 1, 2, it's the same shape as this, basically. I'll read what it says. This is from Michael Tazarian. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a good researcher as well. Yeah, so this was from his video. It said, Kabbalistic imagery is also used during the coronation ceremony. The Queen is positioned at the center of 6 maidens or ladies in waiting. The form of the procession is reminiscent of the Kabbalistic tree of life. The procession then passes through the second portal into the church towards the altar. The company pass along a blue carpet symbolizing water, the river of life, time or knowledge, etc. Interestingly, the word Hebrew means men of river.
Jeez. See the
so
shapes
there's
right
that
there,
one.
bro.
That's like, now we're going into more of like the Freemasonic symbology, if that makes sense.
So like, because I've been hearing like even towns are like mapped out in these sort of ways, like Milton Keynes.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. There's Santos was talking about, I think, don't quote me on this. I think it's to do with, the 64 squares on the chessboard. I think there's a major city in Australia that's cut into 64 cubes. It's something along those lines, but I can't remember exactly.
Wow.
When you just said about the towns, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I heard Milton Keynes is set out in a certain way. And there's what's that? There's a town in Las Vegas, like Nevada somewhere, near Las Vegas. Yeah, that's set out in a certain way.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, bro, because when you obviously you can't see it from the ground, but when you go up in the air, they do all these type of stuffs, man, for sure. But yeah, moving on. This is like the royal symbol. Like the royal crest. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, which is the lion and the unicorn.
Yeah.
So there's loads of different symbology for this same one symbol. So the lion is gold, and then the unicorn is silver. The lion is the sun. The unicorn is the moon. This is Leo. This is Cancer. The lion is male. The unicorn is feminine. So it's showing balance or duality, yin yang, if that makes sense. But also, the lion is a symbol of England, and then the unicorn is a symbol of Scotland. And I was talking to Maestro about this before, how the word Scotland comes from the Egyptian god of Scotia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Princess Scotia.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I say this connects with the unicorn connects with Cancer and the moon is because in the constellation of Cancer, there's a unicorn constellation as well.
Oh, right.
I can actually, if I've got it on here to show you, yeah, I have in my other. I did a show on the royal wedding. It happened during a Great Conjunction.
Yeah.
Surprise. Let's see. If I've got, here we go. Yeah. So it says the pale white unicorn is an ancient symbol for the moon, and obviously the moon rules Cancer as well. And then here it says monocreos. It means the unicorn in Latin is a constellation that represents a mythical single-horned horse-like creature in the northern sky on the celestial equator and in the quadrant space allotted to the constellation of Cancer.
All right.
So this connects with Cancer and the moon, and Leo, and the lion obviously connects with Leo and the sun.
Right, man. See, there's got to be power in this. If they're always using these, beings in the sky to represent what they're doing, you know what I mean? That's the common ground there. You're seeing stars,
a lot of it's
constellations,
planets, worship, isn't it? Like, and it's just, but again, they're doing it without doing it, if that makes sense. No one would think, a lion is to do with the sun and the unicorn is to do with the moon. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it, innit?
But they're hiding it in plain sight,
that's it. So
it must be just, like, okay.
Yeah, because I said, I've done a video on the whole. This is so deep, but I can't explain it because it takes too long. Maybe we can talk about it another day. But I've incorporated some of this in this presentation as well anyway. So I'll talk about it.
Society. Make sure you catch him on there.
So obviously, these are the two pillars of Freemasonry, which is Boaz and Jachin. And this is the Royal Arch. As you can see, it says up here, the Royal Arch, which is the first 7 signs of the zodiac. And these two pillars correlate with the whole Twin Towers thing, which I'm going to get into after. But if we go to this is the royal wedding, you can see like the symbolism even in here. You see the 2 pillars, and then you can see the arch up here. Although it's cut off, you can see that there's an arch. Can you see here it bending?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the royal arch and the 2 pillars, and you can see they've set up there, and you got the 2 pillars here, these 2 gold things.
Yeah.
But also moving on from that,
so they had it.
9/11 corresponds with September 11, right?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, okay. But obviously, if we break down the word etymologically, September, sept is 7. So in the astrological calendar, it's not 9/11, it's September, it's 7/11. Because September is 7. It only became 9 once they changed the calendar to start in Capricorn. Because this would be March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
Yeah.
So then, if this is 7 and these 2 are 11, so you got September 11 in the symbol.
7/11.
Yeah, which is September 11.
Jeez. Okay. Right. So.
Get it?
Yeah. I think I get it.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then 11.
11. Yeah.
The two pillars are 11. So 7, like I said, September. Sept is 7. So that will be September 11. But again, I'm going to show you the 9/11 correlation as well. They're both there.
So
but
what is this royal arch that you're showing us here? Whose symbol is this, or who?
This symbol, the royal arch.
This is like is this like the ultimate Masonic symbolism or something?
Yeah, this is like a very big Masonic symbol. Yeah, because these are the first. See, these are the 7 good signs, and then the 5 other signs underneath are like the wintry signs. So they're kind of paying homage to like the spring and summer, if that makes sense, as illumination. That's why they've only got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra.
Okay, so when the sun is really working and all that.
Yes, that's when the sun is in the sky. Whereas under here, they haven't bothered to put the other ones, if that makes sense.
And so what does this represent though? Like this symbolism?
Yeah, this represents a zodiac. And each pillar represents the sun and the moon. Boaz represents the moon, and Jachin represents the sun. That's where you get the word, Union Jack.
Yeah.
The flag, the Union Jack. That's about the sun. Because Jack is the sun. Jacob and the 12 sons in the Bible. Jack and Jill went up the hill. You see that?
I don't know.
That rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Well, that's this. This is the hill. So they go up the hill. They fetch water in Cancer, which is the water sign, and then they go tumbling down the hill. It's there, bruv. It's so blatant.
Jeez, boy. We're here with Mem DVG, breaking it down, boy. Signs and symbols.
Yeah, this is just this. So September 11, as in 7/11, is more of an esoteric thing, whereas 9/11 is more of a public way. But I'm going to break down both.
Exoteric.
This is the 7/11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 2 pillars, which are the 11. And then if you add up 7 and 11, 7, 1, 1, it equals 9. So it's just about mastery and divinity, if that makes sense. That when it comes to numerology.
Oh yeah, because you reduce it down, innit? So
yeah, I'm reducing it. Yeah, so 7, 1, 1 equals 9. So that's, and 9 again is the moon, and when you add up everything to do with the moon and sun together, it equals 9. So I'll give you an example. The sign Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's the 4th sign. And the sign Leo, ruled by the sun, is the 5th sign. So 4 and 5, sun and moon, equals 9. Then if you get the elements from the periodic table, which correspond to the sun and moon, the sun corresponds with gold, which is number 79 in the periodic table. So 7 and 9 comes to 16, which reduces to 7. And then the moon, which corresponds with silver, is 47. So 4 and 7 is 11, which comes to 2. So then 2 plus 7 equals 9. So again, the sun and moon together bring perfect harmony. That's what it's talking about as well.
And it's the same with the degrees, isn't it? Like 360 degrees, you reduce that.
Exactly.
90 degrees,
but so
180 degrees.
So that's this kind of breakdown of this. But then if I move here, now we're going to get into the 9/11 stuff, how it corresponds with 9/11. So you can see the square has an angle of 90, which will reduce to 9. And then the compass is 47, which reduces to 11. So then you got 9, 11. Sorry, my headphones are coming out. 1 second, bro. Yeah. So did you catch that?
Yes. Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So you've got 9, 11.
Yeah.
So, but interestingly enough, bro, what this is also a symbol of is, you see, from the Tropic of Cancer to the equator is 23.5 degrees. And from equator to Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 degrees. So when you add up 23.5 times 2, it equals 47. So these 2 points here are the tropics, and this is the equator in the middle.
Jeez.
Right, yeah.
So look, I'll show you. I've got a thing of it here. So can you see here? Look, summer solstice 23.5, winter solstice 23.5, and equinox.
Yeah.
So together, all of that makes the degree of this, which is 47 degrees.
Wow.
23.5.
So then, yeah, and that makes the 11, which is 1 and 1, and then the middle part is the equator. But like I said, they also comes to 9, 11.
That one.
It's mad,
that one's crazy. I've never seen anyone point that one out before. I've seen a lot of these sorts of things, but that's it's so obvious as well. It's all you got to do is put a compass on the compass and get the angle of it, and obviously the square is always 90. So amazing.
Yeah, the square represents the Earth because the cube also represents the Earth as well.
Right.
So but so what else have we got? Yeah, these are some more. This is just like some other stuff. Again, it's just kind of saying what I've already said, basically, if that makes sense. So you can see like all the different symbology. Also as well, the Star of David is a symbol of polarity as well, because the triangle going up is the masculine phallic, and the triangle coming down is the woman's. Like vagina, let's say, and this middle part, you see there's a 6-sided shape,
hex,
which corresponds with the cube and the hex. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the cube, boy. Yeah, we have to get into that cube, man. Not literally, by the way.
Yeah.
But boy, see that cube everywhere, man.
Yeah. And also, this is the 7/7 bombings, which it just, again, it come to me while I was talking to Mice the other day. Well, if we look at the 7/7 bombings, there's like a 777 ritual in it, because it happened on the 7th day of the 7th month, and then it happened in 2005. So if you reduce 2005, it becomes 7. So you got 777.
Yeah, and people
so
got to understand the reduction thing as well.
It says here the negative side of 777, the angel number. It says the 7/7 meaning is positively inclined due to the influence of angels. However, some people view 777 in a negative sense. Most people will associate this number to bad luck due to its fame in the gambling sector. The number 777 in gambling signifies a win. People who deem it as bad luck only see the negative effect it has, instead of also focusing on the positive aspects at the same time. 777 numerology can only bring bad luck if you are someone who harbors hatred, evil thoughts, and ignorance. Your thoughts determine the type of person you are or what you become. In relation to the angel number, 777 is a highly positive number. Seeing 777 encourages you to get rid of bad energy in your mind and welcome good energy. So what's really interesting is you see here, it says it's only bad luck for someone who harbors hatred, evil thoughts, and ignorance. Well, that would make sense why they would do it on that day, because most of the people who believed, like, for example, the 7/7 bombings might have been like some Al Qaeda terrorist thing. It did leave a lot of them in ignorance and hatred and evil thoughts, because that's what them type of events bring.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted as well.
It's very significant. Don't know if that making sense to you.
They pick their numbers, man. That's what it makes sense. Like,
and another thing,
when you think about hiding it in plain sight as well, because not everybody's going to see it or understand it.
Yep, 777 is 21, and the first bomb on the 7/7 was at 8:49, which also equals 21. So that's just another extra thing that I came across as well.
It's all planned out.
Yeah, because 8 and 4, no, 7, 8 and 4 equals 12, plus 9 is 21, yeah. So 8:49 equals 21. So does 777.
And the thing is as well, yeah, even if it seems like, right, how can they time it like that? It's not even that. It's that they put the news out and say that it happened at this time. Or
it might not even happen that time. Exactly. That's a brilliant point, bro. Spot on. It probably didn't even happen at that time. They just said it happened at that time. Exactly.
So they can send a message like, this is...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a way to communicate, bro.
Yeah, this is some stuff I've been decoding in relation to Islam. The word Allah in English gematria comes to 37, which reduces to 7. The new month in the Islamic lunar Hijri calendar starts at the sighting of a waxing crescent moon, which is 7% of the moon illuminated. And the moon is 16 degrees away from the sun when the crescent moon is sighted. 1 and 6 also reduces to 7. So again, that's just some more.
7.
That's like a mixture of breaking down things, basically.
Why do some people say that because they say that you can see that star that's next to the crescent moon? Usually they say you can see it through it. You can see through the moon.
Oh, like the coronal? Do you mean that little thing that appears on the edge of the eclipse, sort of thing?
Yeah, and it seems to.
What do you mean?
When there's an eclipse, you normally see like a little. They call it, as a certain name. It's like a diamond thing, or something. It's like a star that appears on the edge of the eclipse.
Oh,
sort of thing.
Right.
So you get,
I know what you're talking about.
You get a crescent on one side.
About and the nodes in astrology, because it's the nodes what creates the eclipse.
There's some kind of clipping going on.
I think that might.
See, the thing is, I don't personally. I can't prove any of this, but I don't believe that it's the moon. It's the Earth in between all that, and then that creates the eclipse. Because if that was the case, there would be an eclipse every month. Because on a full moon, the sun and moon are always opposite each other. So then if the Earth's in between, there'd be an eclipse every month, but there isn't. It's to do with the nodes of their cycles, which again, I'd have to explain it to you through diagrams, basically. Have I got anything on here? Let's see.
Gleam,
I might have something.
I think Gleam knows what I'm on about. He said there's been footage of it. It looks like
it's that a diamond ring effect.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to do with the nodes on here.
Well, he's saying seeing a star.
Okay, so I was here. But yeah, that's just something I've come across. Yeah, these are just all like the sun setting symbols of like Libra. So, and this is the Omega, which is the same as the Libra symbol in Greek. It's to do with the sun setting, basically.
The Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah.
The Alpha must be.
So Alpha would be the sun rising, and the Omega would be the sun setting. Yeah, this corresponds with the whole like Libra court justice, because the whole law system is based on Libra, like balancing the scales. You know, like in ancient Egypt, where they say when you die, your heart will be put on scales with a feather, and if it's heavier, you go to the underworld and all this. The whole court system's like based on that kind of concept that comes from Egypt.
Which is quite interesting, isn't it? So Libra, liberty, you know, the same LIB, liberation, library.
And also that's where Saturn exalts in astrology. That's where Saturn starts his journey from, in Libra. So that Saturn is the discipliner.
Yeah. Order.
So that corresponds with, exactly. That corresponds with the whole Libra and justice thing. Nike, obviously, this is a bait one. This is the ring of Saturn.
I think your mic might be clipping.
It's like, I think it might be touching on your top maybe or something. Have you got a mic on your...
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, these new headphones I've got a mic thing on it as well. I didn't realise. Right. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah, so Nike, obviously, this is like the ring of Saturn. And Nike was a Greek god. Again, I've just added this one just in there. Yeah, this is Saturn with his scythe, basically. But Saturn, the archetype of Saturn, and it's always to do with the color black, and it's to do with someone who's always disciplining someone. So the referee in a football match is the archetype of Saturn, basically. That's why they wear all black. They're the one disciplining everyone on the pitch.
And they keep time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Chronos.
And they dish out the law as well on the pitch.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one.
And so Chronos times, that's Saturn, which has got a ring. Rings are round, obviously.
Yep.
And so the clock is usually round.
Yeah. Also as well, to add to that, you've got the 11 players on each side, which is the two pillars, 11. And you've got 11 in 11 is the 22, which is the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, and the 22 cards in the major arcana of the tarot. So you've got even numbers in the football that correspond with stuff as well. But again, like I've got no proof that this is why they do it, but it's just too much of a coincidence. Do you get what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I mean, I think the ref one's obvious, the referee one.
Yeah,
the umpire.
Like the numbers as well. Like for example, like 45 minutes each way, 9 and 9, 90 minutes. A game's 90 minutes, 18-yard box, 1 and 8 is 9. There's loads of things in. Yeah, there's so many things you could pick out, but yeah, this is a Volkswagen symbol, VW. It just reminded me of this a lot, which is the 369 thing that Tesla did. I'm not saying it's the same, it just reminds me of it.
I can see it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. The bullseye. Why do we always want to get the bullseye? Because they say the God is in the center, and everything comes from the center and goes outwards. So the bullseye is the target, what you're looking for, basically. So, because obviously on this map, the bullseye would be this center bit here. So have I got anything else? No, that's about it, man. I've come to the end of it, really. Is there any other ones you want me to go through, or
is that like that's a flat Earth there, no?
Yeah, that's a flat Earth thing, yeah.
And it's the North Pole in the middle.
Yeah, because in the middle, there's also something called Rupus Nigra, which is a black stone here in the North Pole. And you see, like in Mecca, when they walk around the Kaaba, they say it's also a symbol of that black stone that's here at the North Pole, which is called the Rupus Nigra. Have you heard of the Rupus Nigra?
No.
One second. I can go online while I'm here, and I'll show you. If I go to 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, you were here with some shit you might not never know nothing about.
Okay.
We got Mem DVG breaking down a whole bunch of stuff. Signs, symbols, logos.
Rupus.
Esoteric meanings.
Nigra.
What'd you call me? Joke.
So yeah, can you see like these old maps? Basically, there was they say that like in all these old maps there was four big islands at the North Pole.
No, we can't see them yet.
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
My screen sharing is paused. Why is it paused? Resume share.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out to Osh in the building.
Oh no, why can't I share online? 1 second, because I'm sharing two things at once. 1 second, bro.
Right, okay.
All right, now let me share it again, and it should work. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yeah. So you see, basically in all the old maps, at the North Pole, there was these four big islands. But they tell us, but after a certain time, they just got deleted off maps, basically. But in the middle, right in the middle of these four islands, there's this big black stone, which is called the Rupus Nigra. And they say that the Kaaba, where they walk around, is a correspondence to this stone, basically.
I've seen. What, the big black cube?
Yeah. Because if you get like, if I type in magnet cube, where is it? Where's that? No. What's the magnet? Oh no, man. What's the actual?
The black cube.
Let me see if I can find it.
We've got the Rubik's cube.
Yeah. Magnet cube.
See, people say the cube.
Iron fillings. Here we go.
Hey, yo,
Oh,
my
yeah.
name Iron
Yeah,
fillings.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sounds like a.
And then if I type in Kaaba, for example,
Budget Wu-Tang rapper.
Iron fillings. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, we out here, man. You know what I'm saying? We chewing up rappers. We using our teeth for everything.
So then obviously that iron filling thing would kind of correlate with this.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I go back to the iron filling, yeah, you can see the
Yeah, it's about alignment.
similarity.
Because they all march in the same way, so it's
exactly.
about
They go round it 7 times.
Yeah, anti-clockwise though. I think they travel, don't they? I don't think they do it clockwise.
I can't remember which way it is.
I'm pretty sure it's
I should
anti-clockwise.
know that actually. Yeah, we can check. 1 second.
Don't they say that it also correlates with the planets because there's like 7?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Wow. Where is it?
Yeah.
I've actually got a slide on it, but I've just where does it say where they walk around it?
What, 7 times?
Yeah, it tells you, but I can't remember what part it is. It's just quite long. Background, recording. Okay.
We're just trying to find the direction that they walked.
Yeah,
they walk around it. Yeah.
Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
I've got it somewhere in my folder, but I can't. I've got so many slides, I don't know where it is. But I should know this, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though, man. When they, you know, the fact they can have people doing things they don't really understand.
Yeah, of course.
That's quite amazing, man.
It says anti-clockwise, yeah.
It's anti-clockwise.
Kaaba.
Yeah.
Let me just write clockwise or anti-clockwise. See what it says. Why do they? It's anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen now, man.
Boy, man, you went in, man. Jeez.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That stuff like the Virgin one, man, was like, whoa. Okay, so that's a whole nother level of hiding it. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many of them.
Yeah, man, it's just, there's so many, bro. It's just like, because it's weird, because even the Kaaba, for example, it might be associated with a Muslim thing, but it's actually Jewish, Christian, and Muslim. Reason being, the Jews wear a Kaaba on their forehead. I don't know if you've seen that before.
The tefillin,
sorry?
It's called the tefillin that they wear on their arm, one on the arm and one on the head, yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, if you if you was to unpack a box or a cube, it would make a cross as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that corresponds with the Christian thing. And then obviously the Muslims walk around it. So ultimately, they're all worshipping the same thing, but just through different ways, if that makes sense.
Well, they are called the Abrahamic religions. So
exactly.
Obviously come from...
And Abraham is Saturn. And look, I can prove that to you right now. 1 second. Do you mind me sharing my screen again?
No, of course not.
It's astrotheology now. We're going to get into some astrotheology, right?
Yeah, so if I go to share, and then I go to my folder, which I've got millions of slides, and then I've go to, which ones is it? 1 second. Oh, this one.
And if you want to get some lessons, you can catch him on Syncretism Society as well.
Yeah, or you can as well, what you can do, if you want a private lesson, I also do that as well. So you don't have to go onto the Syncretism Society. You can just email me and I can give you a private lesson in whatever you want, or I can read your birth chart for you, anything basically.
Yeah, man, the birth chart.
I can teach you about basics of numerology, gematria, etymology, cosmology, astrology, astrotheology. Yeah, there's loads of stuff, man. So let's go to...
Never stop learning, mother lovers.
These are all screenshots from my PDFs I've took, man. There's so many.
So
Abraham. Let's go to...
So you're saying that it was Saturnian worship?
Yeah, it is because... Oh, here we go. No, where am I? This one. So, yeah. So, can you see this? Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is from a book called Mystical Astrology by a medieval Islamic astrologer called Ibn Arabi. And he says, let me read it from, according to this order of correspondences, which, however, cannot be understood except within their spiritual perspective and in some way with a cyclic of Islam, Abraham, Sayyidina Ibrahim, resides in the sky of Saturn. Moses, Sayyidina Musa, in that of Jupiter. Aaron, Sayyidina Harun, in that of Mars. Enoch, Sayyidina Idris, in that of the sun. Joseph, Sayyidina Yusuf, in that of Venus. Jesus, Sayyidina Isa, in that of Mercury. And Adam, Sayyidina Adam, in that of the moon. So it's basically saying that these patriarchs or these prophets are just different symbols for the different heavens or the different planets, basically.
Wow.
And also,
same all around, isn't it?
If I go to where I've just clicked off my bloody slides again. If I go to this one, is it this one? No. Which one is it? 1 second. Oh, here. There's 28 letters in the Arabic alphabet, and it says that the Islamic esotericism establishes the correspondence between the 28 mansions of the moon and the 28 letters or sounds of the sacred language. It is not like people think. The mansions of the moon represent the models and letters. It is the 28 sounds which determine determine the lunar mansions. So the 28 letters of the Arabic alphabet corresponds with the 28 lunar mansions.
And so and then there would have been, someone mentioned it, I think it was Gleam, about there being like 13 months then, 28 days in every month. Is that right?
Yeah, the 13 moon, because all the extra, because obviously there's usually 30 days, isn't there, or 31, but those extra 2 days added up over a year, it creates an extra moon within a solar year, if that makes sense. Because a lunar year is 354 days, but a solar year is 364 days. There's a difference.
A lunar year is 364 days. As well as 13 times
354.
28.
A lunar year.
13 times 28 is 364.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But an actual, I'll show you here.
You mean like actually a year of the moon returning back to the same place it was in before?
Here, it tells you the Islamic calendar is made up of 12 lunar months. The Hijri year is therefore 354.3 days long. This means that any given month will migrate throughout the solar year. Each Islamic year starts about 11 days earlier in each Gregorian.
Okay, so that's the Islamic calendar, you mean? Yeah.
So, I don't know what other interest. I've got loads of interesting stuff. I got all these folders, man. They're just full of info, man.
Yeah, man. Any questions? It depends
on. I'll stop sharing now, and then we can just talk normally, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, bruv. So it's like it's that whole thing about the Gregorian calendar. It seems like they made sure to spread it out as far as they could, so that everyone's running by it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
It's quite a sneaky way of getting hold of control, like being able to control people as well. It's a very sneaky way, farther in time in that way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't matter that Capricorn, it does and it doesn't, because the true New Year starts in Aries. It's spring, but they've started it like 3 months before in Capricorn.
In winter, they've started it in winter. Well, like imagine spring
when
where
there's death, basically, where it should start in spring when there's life.
Yeah.
So, but I get it, like with the whole, it makes sense because Capricorn is the sacrificial goat, and it makes sense. Like what they've done is they've used that whole sacrifice thing to start a new year. So that's why, like, generally, again, this is how it's put into people's subconscious and they don't even know. What does everyone do at New Year's? They make a New Year's resolution. I'm going to sacrifice eating this. I'm going to sacrifice eating that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. All that corresponds with the goat of Capricorn, the sacrificial goat. So they've used that energy to kind of guide people in the way they want, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why the sacrifice of the goat, ultimately the sacrifice of the goat is you sacrificing your bad deeds to start fresh. That is true. But they've just used that motif on the whole of the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
for sure, man. Look how it got everyone stressing about paying their taxes and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
the end of the year.
The sign of Capricorn is an earth sign. So it's kind of, there's 2 New Years. You've got a material New Year, which is Capricorn, and then you've got spiritual New Year, which is Aries.
So is that how it works?
Sorry?
That's how it works, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because, like you're saying, there's a sacrifice going on, and then by the time it's Aries, there's life now.
Yeah,
kind of got,
because the sacrifice was Jesus getting sacrificed, basically. That's why his birthday is on the 25th of December in Capricorn, because that's when the sun starts. Because basically, once the sun comes from from Cancer in the northern hemisphere and hits Capricorn, it gets to its lowest point, and then it stays there from the 21st to the 24th on the same latitude. But then on the 25th, the sun starts rising towards the northern hemisphere, hence why it's Jesus' birthday, because the sun starts coming towards the north where our days start getting longer. So again, everything is based on up there, man. It's just knowing the stories and how they like correlate, basically.
Yeah, shout out to Ken F. He says, it seems to me most cultures took the time to record information of the heavens and their movements in stone. Long lasting,
Sure.
sending us the message that civilization destroying stuff comes from up there. Yeah, it's that's the thing, man. Like, the more I look into it, the more I feel like there were some people that maybe they're born to be this way, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they're born to try and control and do all these kind of crazy things because that's how it's written for them in the stars, you know what I mean? And they ended up taking that lane that brought them to that place. But yeah, it's amazing, man.
Yeah, because sometimes I hear it like, you know, people say, "Oh, why is it like this, and why is it like this, and why is it like that?" But then there's other people who say that everything is perfect. This is how it's supposed to be. So we can't really moan. Like, once we get that understanding, like, do you get what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is, man. But it's just yeah, like you said, Mice, everyone's got their own lane, man. And like, some people's lane is doing what we may deem as good things, or some people's lane is what we may deem as doing bad things. Do you get what I'm saying? So, because it's weird. I saw something the other day about how early Christians actually thought the opposite of, instead of being good, you have to be bad, because then once you've experienced every kind of situation on earth, then you won't reincarnate because you've experienced everything. So then that way you won't be reincarnated to earth. But if you're good and you don't experience many things, then that way you'll just keep coming back. So there's people that have the opposite view, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, again, I kind of get it, but I don't at the same time, because I think that depends on the person. Because when you do something bad, you have a weird feeling inside of you. Do you get what I'm saying? So then you won't want to do that again.
Yeah,
I think it kind of goes more to do. It kind of goes more on feeling and how the particular person feels. But maybe a person who would do something that is deemed bad, like kill loads of people in a thing, to them it ain't bad.
It's not bad if the government gives you a weapon, puts the weapon in your hand.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
not bad. Getting paid to do it, for real.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not one to judge. At the end of the day, that's one thing I've realised in this last 2 years of what's gone on, and people with different conflicting views and different opinions, and like, it's even close family and friends who you're really close with, you've had difference of opinions of, and you haven't agreed on particular things. And I've just come to the realization that at the end of the day, like you said, the universe has given each of us a particular frequency, and we resonate with that frequency, and that's how we see the world. And for other people, they see the world in another way. And I'm not one to judge it. I can only just try and do the best I can do at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think you're right. The key is to stay neutral. You know what I mean?
That is neutral, because that's the ultimate.
Or don't put bad and good onto things. They're just, things just
they're just positive and negative. They're just equal and opposite reaction.
That's
kind of thing.
Yeah, the lions aren't evil because they eat zebras. They're just doing what comes naturally to lions.
That's just their nature. Do you get what I'm saying? I think in a weird kind of way, what's gone on has helped me, because I'm not going to lie, when you first get into like this type of knowledge, you become quite judgmental, like don't do that, it's no good, or don't do this and don't do that. But obviously you're only doing it because you like care for the person or you want to help them. But then I've come to realize that not everyone sees the world the way I do. So I can't get people to see life through my eyes because they don't have my eyes, they have their own eyes. So you know, it's just one of them things, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have had to come to terms with that, man, over the last couple of years. It's like, wow, it's a whole different level of reality, I guess, that some people have been facing. And then, you know, you realize like, oh, wow, we don't even see things the same way in terms of reality. Like all these conversations we've had or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? It's mad.
Yeah, we could see reality in like, for example, I will have loads of friends that I like had like who I did music with, and we was really close. We used to DJ together and do things and go out and whatever. But then as I've got older and I see the world in a new way, but they see it in a different way, it don't necessarily mean we hate each other or we don't talk, but it just like my says is that it's like their reality and your reality is two different things.
Yeah, and it's just weird getting to terms with that, coming to terms with it. It's kind of like,
it is sometimes.
Right.
But you know what you were saying earlier, Mike, about you're not crazy. Like you was talking about people don't want to accept things, and that is because of that reason. Because hence the saying, the truth hurts. And the truth is a hard thing to face, bro. And I understand why people ignore it, because it can sorry, I don't mean to swear, but it can drive you a bit bonkers when you get into this stuff at first, when you don't have a clear understanding of it.
Yeah.
Meaning you think, why is this like that? And why is this that? And whatever. But then as you kind of progress through it slowly, you come to terms with what it all means or what it's all about. You get what I'm saying? And then, that's the way I kind of have been dealing with it lately. I've just kind of had to accept particular things. I don't necessarily like those things, but it just is what it is at the end of the day. What can I do? I can only do what I can do at the end of the day. And you can only do what you can do. Like, we can't change the whole world. We can influence people, but that's about it, really.
Yeah. There's no point in putting all that energy into trying to change people that it's built into them to do that.
You can exactly. You can just start. All you can do is start with yourself, and then
exactly, bro. And then you can just try and be a good example.
Exactly. If other people see you and think to themselves, "I want to be a better person as well," then that's the best you've done.
Yeah, man. Like
instead of forcing,
because deep down inside, I think all of us are all good people. Like, I don't think any of us, I would say most people in the world, when I say most people, I'd say 70-80% of the people, I think deep down are genuinely good people. But I just think that because of conditioning and brainwashing and all this type of stuff, it's blocked everyone's true potential.
Yeah. Indoctrination. You know what I mean? Taking you away from who you really are. That's it. You're lost. That's why.
Yeah, man, it's weird. Sometimes it's like I'll be hearing two people conversate and I'm thinking, only if you guys knew. And then I'm thinking, shall I jump in and explain it to them? And then I think, you know what? No, I'm going to leave it because I'm not even going to go there because
we're in Tesco's. They don't need to hear it. I'm only at the till in Tesco's.
Exactly.
It's never the right time and place to interrupt people and say, look, I think we've got a few things.
Getting a bit carried away there, mate.
Yeah, no, I know. And what you're doing is the right thing. Is you're just going and you're just putting your stuff out there. And if people want to listen to it, they can listen to it. You're not forcing it on anybody. You know, you're not saying to people that they're stupid for not listening to it. It's up to whoever wants to tune in. They can find it, and people who are ready for it will find it.
Yeah, but the thing is, in my earlier years of doing this, I would say, "Oh, you're stupid. You don't understand." But again, that's me checking my own ego. Do you get what I'm saying? By realizing that. But because like, who am I to really judge anyone? I'm just a fucking regular person. Do you get what I'm saying? So I can't really say someone else is stupid or whatever. It just is what it is, and that's the way I see it now.
But the need to convince people of things it stems from having not really fully integrated your own personality yet. So you're still in this thing of like, but I have to save other people, and it's like, well, no, you just got to save yourself. That's it, really. Just
Yep, spot on. And they say as well that most people who talk about other people or will laugh at someone else's downfall is to cover your own downfalls. At the end of the day, that's all it is, really.
Projection.
It's like a way of covering up your shit by exposing someone else's shit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, man, it's just weird. Like there's been so many times where I've reacted to something, and then I'll have a bun, and then I'll think, I'll say, what the hell was I doing? Like, it's like I come back to my senses, kind of thing.
Yeah. But
again, we're all polar beings, man. We've all got that yin and yang. And that's what good and evil is to me. It's not like a being in the sky or an actual devil. They're within us, and it just depends which one we want to give more attention to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
It's that as above, so below, for real, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Jeez. You lot better get on that, boy. Shout out to all the crew locked in, man.
But yeah, if anyone wants to contact me, you can do that by contacting me at consciousmindstv@gmail.com. So I know it's a bit of a long-winded email.
I'll put it in the chat.
But yeah, it's CONSCIOUS minds TV, all in one word, @gmail.com. And yeah, we can do just like a Zoom meeting or whatever if you want to learn some stuff. And
where else can people get hold of you? What else you got going on?
Yeah, also you can see my work on the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy. That's a virtual academy where you can go and learn anything from alchemy, astrology, how to grow your own food, learning new languages, sound healing, meditation, cardio workouts, old history about everything. But you've got to subscribe. It's a monthly subscription, but you've got like over 30 different instructors sharing and teaching on there. So that's at syncretismsociety.com.
Okay.
But yeah, but like I said, if you want to get in touch with me personally to do a reading or just to do a session, or I could, because you saw all those slides I have, I've got so much stuff to share and to read through things. I can do that with you guys. It's totally up to you. Or even if you just want to ask a quick question, just hit me up, man.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Always, man.
Good guy.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me on, man. It's always a good time.
Yeah, very interesting.
Ideas. I get it. It's weird. I almost become like a big kid when I do these type of shows because I get so enthusiastic about sharing the knowledge.
It's very interesting, man. Like, serious. Some of that stuff was like, oh, yeah.
Reagantology just said, thank you, Mem. Can you explain the fallen tree clip you shared?
Fallen tree clip?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Fallen tree clip.
Fallen tree clip.
Something you might have known about.
Clip that I shared. Where did I share? I didn't share a fallen tree clip on here, did I?
No, it might mean you shared it somewhere else. Maybe you've shared it on Instagram.
Fallen tree clip. I am baffed.
We'll just wait for him to come back. He might have a bit of a update.
Is there? Also, if anyone wants to ask any questions while I'm here, you can get people to do that as well, man.
Yeah. Gleam says, salute Conscious Minds TV. Yeah, more. Says, thanks, Mem. Dope to see you back on. Fire.
Yeah, thank you to all you guys for joining in and just being here to listen at the end of the day. It's all good.
So do you think, you know, because it seems like, okay, there's worship of the sun, but then there's worship of Saturn. Like, who do you think they seem to worship more?
I think they're kind of the opposites, because even in astrology, like Saturn and the Sun are like twin, like them brothers that hate each other, kind of thing. If that makes sense, they're like, it's like you see, like even Sunni and Shia in Muslim, like that's like a Saturn and a Sun thing as well. Because Shia is similar to the word like Shiva in the East, like in Indian cosmology, or the Queen of Sheba. All those words, they're all similar. They're all kind of more Saturnian worship, whereas Sunni or the sun is more to do. I can tell you a really funny joke, actually.
Shiva, what do you do?
I'm going to tell you a funny joke.
Shiva.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
What have Muslims and British weather got in common? It's either sunny or Shiite.
Shit.
And that is not a racist, because I'm born into a Muslim thing, so I'm not. It's just a joke.
It's my people. They're your people. You can say, yeah, you can say you want.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I remember someone told me that joke recently, and it just made me laugh.
Reagantology says it was on YouTube. The fallen tree. Where else is he?
Fallen tree.
He said he thinks it was meditation, something to do with meditation.
Oh, is he talking about the mushrooms that was under the fallen? I done a video of a fallen tree, and underneath it, mushrooms were growing.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, probably.
I
yeah.
reckon it was that one. For no reason.
Yeah, if they were chicken of the woods mushrooms, there's mushrooms called chicken of the woods.
Yeah.
Apparently they taste like chicken. But
oh wow.
Yeah, that's all that's the only thing I can guess he's talking about with a fallen tree. That's the only video I've got with a fallen tree.
What was you hunting? Was you mushroom hunting?
No, I was just in nature, just going around, and then
tree.
I saw them, and into that, once I saw that, I got into like hunting for mushrooms. I did it last year, and I've done loads of videos and put it on my YouTube.
Oh,
so yeah, I got into that phase like
wild
a little bit, like learning the different names and all that. But yeah, I haven't done it since. Thanks for reminding me, because it was about this time last year. I might go and have a look again.
Right. Shout to psychedelic scientist. Asks, does Mem believe in aliens?
I don't know, like, in what you mean by aliens, what, like, people, like, them creatures with the big eyes and all that. I mean, I haven't seen one, but again, that don't mean they don't exist. I mean, who knows, really? I'm open to, again, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I've kind of looked into is in the old Indian cosmology, they have like a disc Earth, and on top there's 7 layers on top of our Earth, which are the 7 planets, but underneath our Earth there's 7 hells. And then they say that these hells have like different entities or beings, which are the people who are controlling like all our leaders. And then these people are the people, like, so these beings or this race that come from underneath the earth are the ones who have kind of infiltrated our earth and have got the politicians and all the elites working for these reptilians or whatever they call. But personally, see, like the whole reptilian thing, I think it just means why they're referred to as reptilians, because they're cold-blooded. I don't necessarily think they're actually lizard people or snake people. I just think that their vibe or their aura is of a reptilian-like, because they're cold-blooded, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Scaly.
But in terms of aliens, again, I don't know. There might be. There might not be. Again, I don't necessarily... It's like I don't have a view on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not part. It's not part of your. You don't need it to be true or false to confirm your worldview. It's not really
could
anything
well
to do
be
with
true.
It. Yeah, it's not going to change
But at the
anything
same
for you
time,
at the moment.
I can't prove it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But I definitely believe that, like, these elites and that, I definitely believe they're connected to like some external source that they kind of get their power from, or
right.
But again, I'm not saying it's an alien. Do you get what I mean? I just because the thing is, you see, like in the Bible, you've got the Old Testament and the New Testament. When you read the Old Testament, it's a lot more harsher than the New Testament, because the New Testament is where Jesus comes into the story. But the Old Testament is based more on the God of Yahweh, who's quite brutal, which is Yahweh is the same as Jehovah.
Yeah.
But that God, Jehovah or Yahweh, people assume it to be the source God. Like the one God who they think they're praying to, but it's actually not. That's not Yahweh or Jehovah. Isn't that God? No. It's like a demigod, or so it could be someone who's just controlling this realm, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's who like all the elites and all them worship. But whereas, like for example, which is more of a masculine energy, whereas in the ancient times in Africa and in different places, God is seen more as a feminine entity, where you got like Sophia and
Spider
stuff like
Lady,
that, and Isis and all those kind of deities, because they were saying it was more matriarchal before the world become patriarchal, and the Abrahamic religions is what give it a more of a give the earth more of a patriarchal vibe rather than a matriarchal vibe.
Yeah. Even the Greeks say that the original, before their gods were female, religion was female.
Yeah, because the word philosophy is 2 syllables. It's philo to Sophia. Philo means friend, and Sophia is the feminine entity. So philosophy means friend of Sophie.
Yeah.
And also, like in all the churches, you've got like the Black Madonna holding the Jesus as well. So like even in the Vatican, I've heard that they worship the Black Madonna. But in there, like secretly, obviously they don't do it in public. But yeah, I mean, from my personal perspective, I don't think we should worship one or the other, because without one, because again, it's like that equal opposite thing. You need male and you need female. So they're both as important as each other. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis says, big up Mem DVG. Gleam asks, have you looked up the importance of the number 137, specifically in physics?
Yep, 137 is, you see where I showed 90 and 47
I think
earlier?
That's what he's asking, because he sort of made
that's
that connection
what it is,
earlier.
90 plus 47 is 137, which equals 11.
Yeah, so he's saying that there was some other importance with it in maths.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in that perspective, but as soon as he said 137, I knew it was that 90 and 47, because I remember when I did the sum when I was breaking down the 9/11.
Yeah, he mentioned some stuff earlier about it. So yeah, you might want to look into it, see if because there's some there was some interesting stuff he was talking about in the chat earlier.
Yeah, because a lot of these numbers as well, like you have different types of numbers, like prime numbers or triangular numbers.
Yeah.
And all these are kind of interesting as well, like when you look up particular numbers. So it could be that 137 is one of those numbers. I can't think off the top of my head whether it is or not at the moment.
Yeah.
But I know that the 90 and 47 made 137.
Yeah.
See, and Kenny Rebel, that's exactly what I was thinking about, is the fact that even though they make us celebrate the new year, you know what I mean, dead in the winter, they start their financial year
in April. Exactly.
April. So Kenny Rebel's like, do you think the banking calendar is used to keep us out of sync with nature, Mem?
That's a good question.
I feel
Possibly.
like the Gregorian calendar
Possibly, I don't know. I've never thought of it that way, but I know that the tax year starts in April, which is the Aries time. And yeah, it could be. It could be to like you said, just keep us out of sync. Because like most of us think the new year is in January. Well, it is. They're both correct in a way, because they're both starting points, if that makes sense. Because Christmas Day is the start of winter. Because you could look at, for example, the start of spring, summer, autumn and winter. They're all starting points and it's a circle. So where people could argue that you could start from any position because you still come back to the same place.
Yeah, true.
Because you're just going, because the Jews, they have two New Years. They have a secular New Year and a spiritual New Year. The spiritual one starts in Aries and their secular one starts in Libra. So again, different cultures have different starting points. Do you get what I'm saying? But I guess they're all starting points, really. But I mean, spring makes the most sense because that's the start, basically. It's like it's when things start, all the flowers start to come out and everything starts growing. It represents the youth, like your childhood, and then summer would represent your like teenage to early adult years, and then winter would represent your adult life, and then autumn would represent your adult life, and then winter would represent your old age life, for example. So it just depends really on the cultures and
the sky clock.
Sorry?
That's the sky clock right there, boy.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, because in a circle there can't really be one starting point when you think about it. But the reason why it starts at Aries is because, and it makes sense, is because the sun is at the equator, so it distributes 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Do you get what I'm saying? So that is neutral. So it would make sense logically for it to start there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But again, it depends.
So what's Gleam saying there?
It's saying that the 137 is the number all physicists resolve to for electric magnetism, gravity in quantum mechanics, and physicists are puzzled why it keeps popping up in every science. And then he says, for example, the cosmological constant is finely tuned to 0.0000137.
Right.
If
See, I don't know.
Life on Earth
I'm not much of a science
No, I know
I just don't know that side of it.
No, but it's another. It's just another.
It's another part of the puzzle.
137,
that connects with it. Definitely.
Yeah. So they've encoded that into their Masonic symbolism.
Yeah. Or it could. Yeah, I don't know. That obviously. See, I'm giving out this information, but there's probably much more knowledge to that I don't even know yet. These are things I'm just discovering, like myself.
You're only halfway down the rabbit hole yourself.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So, like, it's weird because it's funny when I watch my old videos and then I think, fucking hell, like, what I knew then to what I know now. So, like, in 4 years' time, what I know now will be nothing to what I know then. Do you get what I'm saying? So, it's just constant evolution and development of learning things at the end of the day.
Nah, man, it's really fun, really interesting as well, bro, man. Like, thanks for sharing as much as you've been there.
It's good when you have some days when I think, it's annoying because you can't talk to people, but there's so many of us that are into all this stuff. But it just, what's weird about it, it's like we're all spread out. It's strange.
Yeah, well,
Like,
now we're starting to see who's who. So it's kind of, it is weird being so spread out, but at the same time, there is a togetherness that you still feel.
For sure, energy. Man. It's like I have so many, like, I study with so many people across the world. I have friends in California, I have friends in New York, friends in Amsterdam, friends in Spain, just everywhere. And we're just all, we've never even known each other in real life, but because of our mutual love for what we're studying, it brings us together. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Nah, definitely, man. And you keep learning as well. Keep building, keep learning more and more, and you realize, like, it never stops. You know what I mean? The amount that you can take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Is there any more?
Let's see. Don't think so.
137 on the undercover cop. Yeah, and you don't stop. Something to do with nature. Okay,
187. So what's 187? You've got me thinking.
Nah, 137.
Yeah, no, he's thinking about 187 now. No, you've got him thinking about 187.
But 187 is
187.
So that's 7 and 9. Yeah, that is 7 when you break it down.
187. You get,
Sorry, I'm just being a nerd. Wow. That's all.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's just a natural thing for me now. Like when I see a number, I just break it down. Like, what does it mean? But
it's really interesting.
Even like you see, like 9/11, for example, it corresponds with the whole 911 of America when you call 911. That's another thing that they did as well. Like it's like hello, like 911. Like it's just they're mocking us, man. It's weird, bro. They just do all these little things. Like, for example, I was talking about 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Well, in New York, the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
She has 7 rays on her head, and she's standing on an 11-pointed star.
7-Eleven. Jeez.
So I forgot about that. It just came to me now. But also the pyramids, the measurement of the pyramids in Giza is something to do with 7-Eleven as well.
Oh, don't keep saying that, man. I'm really hungry for some snacks now.
7-Eleven, boy. They get some promo out here.
It's sunk in. It's gone into my unconscious now. I'm like, oh god.
But also another thing, I'm not going to say 7, but I just did. But I'm going to talk about 11. I was talking about the 2 pillars, Boaz and Jachin in Freemasonry. The 11. Well, if you break down the syllables of 11, it's L even. So it means like God at balance. L even. 11.
Duality, right? Balance.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
We got to accept it, man.
So.
All right. So, Regentology said to ask Mem his thoughts about the Egyptians and the pyramids.
Right. My thoughts is that they are probably, again, it comes to astrology, basically. It's to do with the 3 pyramids are aligned with Orion's belt. Do you know do people know what Orion's belt is?
Yeah, constellation, right?
Yeah, the constellation Orion. There's 3 stars, which is supposed to be the belt of Orion.
Yeah.
Well, basically, the Egyptians aligned the pyramids with that because at the time when they built it, the Orion's belt was facing true north. Like that bullseye I showed you, like the North Pole. In the time when they built them, the Orion's belt was lined up with Orion, and they're facing true north, basically.
Yeah.
And Orion is to do with the constellation of Taurus. It's next to the constellation of Taurus. So that's why they've got, you know, the Sphinx with the man's face. That's to do with the Leo and Aquarius axis, because Leo and Aquarius are opposite each other. And obviously Aquarius is a man and Leo is a lion. So in that time, the sun was rising in Leo. And then, so then what that means, see, I've got to show you on a, 1 second, I've got my board, 1 second.
Oh, shit.
Let's do a quick diagram.
Do a quick analog screen share.
All about the stars, bruv.
Yeah.
We got a shout out to Connoisseurs. Shout to Connoisseur UK. If you want to get your CBDs, whether it be your creams, you know what I mean, or your sprays.
Have you tried them yet?
Chocolates. Yeah. Bruv.
Good?
Yeah. Calms you down, man. Cream's good as well. After a workout. You know what I mean? Eases the strain.
And you can get 20% off if you go to their website, and the discount code for 20%. That's good, isn't it? 20%.
Yeah, 20%. You can go
20%.
to connoisseursuk.com. 20% discount when you type in SYMNNKNA, mother lovers.
That's for you. That's just specially for you lot. We got you a 20% off. So that's a fifth off. It's like pay something a tenner and you get for £8 instead. So it's quite a lot off.
Full spectrum. You can get your sativa.
Right. So can you see my board? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, that's a bit of a shit diagram, but let's do it quickly.
All good, bro.
Right. So when the time that the Egyptians built the pyramids, Leo was the sign rising at the vernal equinox. So then the sign directly up here was Taurus, and that is where Orion's belt is. So because this is facing north, basically, and Orion's belt is in Taurus, then the pyramids, the 3 pyramids and Orion's belt would be directly corresponding with the North Pole. And the reason why the Sphinx was to mark the age of Leo, basically. It's when the sun rose in Leo. That's why they built the Sphinx, because it corresponded with that. And so the half man would be Aquarius and Leo. So that's what the Sphinx is. It's to do with them 2 signs rising and setting at the equinox.
Nice.
So I don't know if that made sense, but it's all astronomical, basically.
Yeah, they go in, boy. They don't play around, man. Jeez.
Because now,
like...
this was 12,000 years ago. This alignment. Now it's the opposite way round. So Aquarius is here and Leo is here, because we're going into the age of Aquarius.
Oh, wow.
So we're exactly 180 degrees on the opposite side. That's another reason why it's such a monumental time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So have we still got a while before we enter Aquarius, right? Or have we
physically, astronomically, yeah, I think it's still a few hundred years. But there's 2 different systems of astrology. You've got sidereal astrology and tropical astrology. In the East, in India, they use sidereal. But in the West, we use tropical astrology. So the difference between the 2 is the one I use, which is tropical astrology, is based on the seasons. It's not based on what sign the sun is physically in. Whereas the Eastern astrology is based on which sign the actual sun, the sign that is actually behind the sun, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for example,
from there,
when it's Aries now in the tropical system, the sun isn't physically actually in Aries. It's in Pisces. And it's coming towards Aquarius. So astronomically, when the sun rises on spring, it doesn't rise in Aries, it rises in Pisces. But because the seasons don't change, basically the tropical system isn't based on the actual constellations, it's based on the seasons.
So
whereas, go ahead,
would that be it's based more on the sun then?
Yes. Whereas the Eastern system is based more on where it physically actually is in the sky.
Okay.
So for example, like someone born on the 10th of November in tropical astrology will be a Scorpio, but in sidereal astrology, there'll be a Libra. See, this is a whole nother discussion that will take ages to explain.
Dude, it's another time.
Yeah, because wow. Wow.
But yeah, so for example, I'm a Scorpio in tropical and sidereal. There's a 23-degree lag, basically. There's a 23 degrees difference between the two.
Okay.
And that 23-degree corresponds with like the tilt of the earth and all that kind of stuff, which I don't personally believe, but yeah, there's so many different explanations. But like I said, that's a whole video in itself, man.
Yeah, we have to do that another one, man.
Another
for
time.
real, boy. Another time, for real.
We just tease in the next one.
Killed it, bro. You killed it, man. That was deep. Shout out to all the crew that were locked in. Yes, and of course, hit up the CMOS boss if you want to get your CMOS. Discount code is about 10.
CMOS boss.
Yeah, man. 10% off.
Yeah, I used it for a while actually, but I got bored of it and stopped using it.
Oh man, what did you make gels and all that? Or
yeah, I got the actual CMOS and I boiled it and then I put it in a blender and made the gel. But there was still I couldn't get it fine. There was still little bits in it. It was weird, but I still used it.
Man, bro, it's the way you got to prepare it in a way where it's sludgy enough that you can just blend it.
Bro, oregano oil is one of the best things, man. This is amazing. It helps with so many things, man. Especially if you got anxiety, this will proper calm your nerves down, man.
For real.
Definitely that burning on your throat will take away the any anxiety you had.
Yeah. It's a nice.
It is very strong.
The first 5 minutes are pretty intense, isn't they?
Yeah, put it under the tongue, boy.
When I first got it, I went to my housemate. I have some of this, and he just opened his mouth, and I just dripped it in his mouth. And he didn't know what it was, and then he was just like, what is that?
Yeah. People aren't ready
it's
for
true.
that.
It's good stuff. Once it settles in, it actually is quite a nice taste.
Yeah.
It's just the initial burn. Yeah,
it's intense. Sure. It's an intense flavour. Yeah,
you start getting used to it as well, innit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That was heavy, man. Jeez. So yeah, Mem, we appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, bro. And I hope my explanations weren't all over the gaff and I made them clear. Because you know what it is sometimes, when you know something you're talking about, you kind of explain it in a bit of because you understand what you're saying, you think that the way you're explaining it, everyone else will understand it. But sometimes I have to try and realize that not everyone knows what I'm talking about. So I always try my best to explain it in the simplest way as possible. So hopefully I did that for you guys. And like I said, if I didn't, you always feel free to just message me and I'll try and go through it with you, man.
Yeah, man, hit him up. Any clarification, you lot can hit him up direct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to claim, I am not no one special or some special. I know a lot of knowledge because I've dedicated a lot of time to it, but I'm just the average guy like everyone else, man. So what I'm trying to say is this knowledge isn't you don't have to be clever to get it. It's just ultimately because I've spent the time to look into it. That's why I'm aware of it. Do you get what I'm saying? So What I'm trying to say is that I'm not putting myself on like some kind of pedestal thinking I'm someone special. I'm just an everyday average person, man.
Nah, bro, you're beyond average, man.
Humble.
For real, you're seeing things other people aren't seeing, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. I ain't gonna just sit here and let you say that without saying that, man. You know what I mean? You gotta get your flowers now, bro. You know.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I appreciate that, but I'm just saying, like,
and shining light on things.
Because what reason why I'm saying that is because I haven't always been like this. Do you get what I mean? It's only been like the last 10 years when I've got into this type of stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not like, oh, I'm a chosen one or whatever. It's just that it's just effort at the end of the day. Like when you put effort into something, you'll get to know it. It's like with anything, I suppose. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's heavy, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on that, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hopefully people will enjoy the show, man.
That was deep, bruv. Gonna holler you, man.
Good, lot of big ups in the chat.
Yeah.
People thanking you. High five.
Yep. Thank you as well, guys, for tuning in, and hopefully I've answered all your questions and just tried to be as helpful as I can.
Nah, for sure, man. People are loving it, bruv. Big up IBMCs, Ken F, Gleam, You're More, PLK, Psychedelic Scientist. Yeah, man, you're getting love, bruv. Regantology. There's a lot of love in the building. Shout out to Bruce Rillis, a.k.a. Blue Fliggy.
Bruce Rillis.
Bruce Rillis, man. He's a joker, man. Yeah, man. Gleam, big up Gleam, Kenny Rebel. Yeah, man. It's been a good one tonight, man. Some real insight.
Likewise, bro.
Real insight there, bro. Always appreciated as well, man, because, woof, you never, like, the amount of things that we miss. You know what I mean? You're just walking around looking at, see logos all the time, or even watching programs now, like different programs you're seeing, films and all that. Shout out to Lawrence Limburger. Thanks for tuning in, you mother lovers. All the common sensors out there, man. We appreciate you each and every time. You know, we'll be back here next Wednesday. Yeah. With some more. It might upset a few people, you know what I mean? Depending on who we get. Shout out to IBMCs, man. Always good to see you. Yeah. Let's do this, man. It's about that time, mother lovers. You know, we've got to be out.
Peace, guys. Thank you very much, man.
Shout out to Mem Dog. My name is My Stiggy. That's Dan DNA. It's some shit you might not never know nothing about. And guess what, bitches and bitchettes? We're out.